the purpose of this video is to demonstrate the running of the game from scratch that was downloaded from here. I've downloaded it and I've opened it in Unity Hub. I put it into a different folder and I changed the target, made sure the target was changed, and changed the platform to 2018 4.8. Okay, so before I continue, I'm going to make sure that Visual Studio is not attached. I'm just going to run it straight up. Now, if I miss out a username and password, I'll get an error. So I'm going to put a username and password in. Okay, so now this has done what it's meant to do. Showing me the story, I can exit back and I do what I need to do. Right, so now what I'd like to do is check the checking of the login. Okay, so in here we have a view model, which is the game manager. But what I'm really interested in is what happens when I press enter on the password. Looking at the password code. And it says game manager check password that it's been using. So I'm going to have a quick look at game manager check password. Be absolutely sure this is not working. I'm going to close it already and it's not causing any trouble. I'm going to restart Visual Studio. There we go. So that'll do its thing. Okay, so it's going to game manager check password. That's where it's going. So inside the check password, it's going to player manager login. So I'll just go straight over there and have a look at it. There, I've got a stop on there already, and that should be ready to go. So I'm going to attach to Unity. Okay, I'm now attached to Unity, and I need to see what LC Players has after it's run this SQLite table query using the where method on the table player to find out where name is equal to the name that was passed in and password is equal to the password that's passed in. The result should hopefully give me a count on LC players. Okay, we've got some code here that was used for checking the creation of database. I'm going to skip that for now. Get rid of that. All right, I'm going to very carefully type in username and password and press enter. Okay, so it goes to check password. I'm going to continue. So I'm going to go to login if I've got the stop in the right place. Okay, so I'm inside login now. So the thing I need to do is see what happens to this LC players. So I'll press continue. Now, LC players has a count of 1. That's because it's gone off to the database and it's run this code here. That is all I was trying to do and all I tried to demonstrate in class. Right, so let's have a look at this. After running this, we then get a result that's true. So if it's not true, it's going to go into this area of code. And if it is true, it's going to go into here. Notice I've got a variable here that's keeping track of the number of logins that were attempted. So I want to then get the first player and make that my current player at the moment. I'm presuming that there's only one player, that then the first one's the one I want. So this is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to step over now. So there we go, login attempts, and then I'm going to get my first player, and then the result is true for logged in down here. So let me step over this. Now I've got my current player. There's my current player who happens to be called test. And I've got a variable here called logged in, which has been used to keep track of the login state. So I'm going to step over that. And now I'm going to return from this routine. And that's returned true on the if statement. So now I'm enabling my navigator screen because I've got one of those, got that username and password in my system. So I'll step over and away I go. I'm done there. That's done the username and password that's known. Okay, so let me try another one. It's going to be called test ZZZ. And that's going to have the same password. All right, so runs check password. Now I need to do this. This time I think I have no test ZZZ in my database, so I should get 0 count on my system. So let me look at the count. Yes, I have a 0. All right, so what madness is going to happen now? Let's see. I step over this. The result should be false. So my login attempts. I've got no current player. And I keep going. And oh my god, my login result is false. Logged in is false. I return this as well. And at this point, that will be false. So I should come back down here and it should run registered player. So I'm going to make a bold thing here. I'm going to go to the registered player and I'm going to put a stop right there to see what happens in registered player. So let's go back to that code, which I just popped out of, and see what happens. So press continue because it should go down to here. Well, let me just step over at the moment. Step over. Yep, it's going down to here. It's going to run registered player. So I'm just going to press continue. I've got here now, I'm at registered player. So I need to see if the player exists. So let me just find player exists and go there. Here's player exists. It's going to do a check against the table player and it's going to return whatever the count is. If it's greater than 0, then the player exists. So let's go with that. And then we're going to step out of here to see what we've got. And it says if not player exists, so I'm presuming, I don't know what the value for that is at the moment, I didn't check it, so we'll see. I'm presuming it shouldn't exist, so I should get a new player. Yes, I have a new player. This new player is going to have that, and the first scene ID is going to be that one that we've just, hopefully that we got. I'm not sure where that's coming from, but it seems like it's correct as we set up. Well, I do know where it's coming from. It was made when the game was started. There we go, and then we're going to insert that player, and then we're going to log that player in. So that's what I'm going to do. So this is just an insert command based on the system that inserts a player. And now we go into login. Let's step into that this time. So here we go. We've been here before. I'm going to log in this time. I'm going to step over that. Hopefully I should be able to press continue to make that work. There we go. So now it's got that player. That player was one we just did, and there should be a player with that name. Let's just double check the name of that player. So we can get the right one popping open. Yep, there's my new player, and they've got the same password. We step over. Now result shouldn't be false. We've got this. So it then runs that, and it returns true, and then it continues as discussed, as we were wanting it to happen. So there is the working of that demonstrated for you.